Tonight on Prime Business, analyst proposes full price control mechanism as pressure mounts on governments to respond to the rising cost of inflation.
The pricing control mechanism will slow down the growth or the increased rate in transportation. And already, after yesterday, we heard transport operators are even going to increase by 20%. So it will make the case very worse.
Also, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority teams up with the Social Security and Insurance Trust, SSNIT, to ensure workers do not extend their retirement age beyond 60 years.
So, some curious people ask, hey, why are you not applying? He said people should not bother him. What is his reason? He's 5 years older than his twin brother. No, 5 years younger than his twin brother. And incidentally, is the elder of the twin who is 5 years younger than his twin brother.
And over 2,500 spare part dealers at Abosokai registered their interest to relocate to Afienya despite stiff opposition by some breakaway groups of the Mother Association.
Areas, as was being told by the minister, was Afienya, Dahuenya, Pokuase and beyond.
We have all these and more coming up shortly. To stay with us. Tonight, government and the Bank of Ghana are under pressure to respond quickly with additional measures to slow the rising inflation rate. This is after the April 2022 figure hit 23.6%, the highest in 18 years. Meanwhile, it appears that government cannot do much to stop the skyrocketing numbers. But speaking earlier on the marketplace, Chief Finance Officer at the Valley View University, Dr. Peprah, said government should introduce a full pricing control mechanism as well as cut down expenditure to manage the situation.
Main element, which is the driver, according to the government statistician, is transport. So transport went as high as 33.5%. So in a way for government to be able to control this element, what I'm going to propose may be something against what we normally do, but this is what must be done when a country is experiencing a high sky inflation in the country, which is affecting the livelihood of Ghanaians. So the first proposal which I am putting on the table is that government may have to look at its fuel pricing control mechanism. I'm proposing that we may have to be thinking also under price control in terms of fuel pricing. Can government be able to come in for a while, as they did when it happened until December, to bring some mitigation measures? Because the pricing control mechanism will slow down the growth or the increased rate in transportation. And already, after yesterday, we heard transport operators are even going to increase by 20%. So it will make the case very worse. So once we are able to control the transport sector, it will have a ripple effect on food. It also have a ripple effect on even the housing sector, which also went up, water and electricity, because all of these areas rely on fuel. So you look at it critically, government may have to come in and probably come in with a pricing control mechanism for a while, because that is a measure of controlling inflation. In terms of the monetary side, inflation simply means as a country, we are spending more than we produce our goods and services. So government may have to also look at a way to reduce the spending activity in the country. First, government may have to check its own spending. When government does that, the impact is that government will have to revise its growth rates that they have set for 2022.
The Finance Ministry says it is not relenting on its efforts to sensitize Ghanaians on the implementation of the electronic transaction levy. Well, according to Deputy Finance Minister Abinel Sesari, the ministry in the coming days will engage Ghanaians more on the process and will collaborate with the GRA on resolving issues with regards to wrongful deductions. She spoke to a section of the media at a sensitization program for trade associations, of which we have more in this report.
Sensitizing some trade associations in Accra on the electronic transfer levy, the Deputy Finance Minister, Abinel Sesari, urged the traders not to embark on panic withdrawals. In response to the demands of the traders on the usage of the funds from the levy, she explained that the revenue will be used for developmental projects.
Yes, like I mentioned, that this is not just a one-off engagement that we're having with them. We have penciled a lot of these associations and we are going to roll them out. And then the Information Services Department is also going to help us starting from tomorrow. They're also going to embark on some of these educational activities that we are implementing with the E-Levy. And we believe that it will go a long way to help citizens support government in the implementation of E-Levy and the realization of the revenues as a whole, not just the E-Levy, but all revenue handles that government has put in place, hoping that it will help us raise the 80.3 billion that we have targeted for the year 2022.
Assistant Commissioner for Domestic Tax Revenue Division at the Ghana Revenue Authority, Dr. Martin Kobel Yamboriga, says the Commission, regardless the challenges, is working assiduously to get all problems resolved.
Oh yeah, every target is always challenging because taxation is a function of the economy. If the economy is doing well, people will pay. So given that there are challenges globally concerning the economy, it will definitely have some challenges. But we believe that with the measure that we have put in place, we should be able to meet the target that have been set for us.
The authority says it will engage other trade associations in the coming days.
Now, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority has teamed up with Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SSNIT, to ensure that workers do not extend their retirement ages beyond 60 years. This, the regulator believes, will ensure that the active workforce of the population is maintained, particularly workers on government payroll. Speaking at the launch of the NBC Limited Gold Pension Plan, the Director of Planning, Research and Monitoring at the NPRA, Ernest Amate Vondi, announced that SSNIT has established a stringent process to discourage workers from extending their age.
Retirement planning is much broader than pension planning. And let's take note of that. Pension planning involves healthcare planning in retirement. People who are old, who are aged, consume a lot more healthcare products. So you need to plan actively as to how you are going to fare or take care of your healthcare needs when you go on retirement. It involves leisure planning. How do you use the time that you have on your hand usefully, actively, in a manner that it promotes your health? Accommodation issues, they are relevant towards retirement. How do you deal with that? Wills preparation are all relevant as parts of the retirement planning process. Investments, equally important as part of the retirement planning process. The most important of all, as I've said, is pension planning. In a part of the world, government over the past 10 to 12 years has reformed our pensions system.
Well, over 2,500 spare part dealers at Bosokai have registered their interest to relocate to the upcoming West African automotive market at Afienya in the Greater Accra region, despite stiff opposition by some breakaway groups of the Mother Association. Well, the Association of Abosokai Spare Part Dealers blame a group of disgruntled spare part dealers for the recent opposition to government relocation program. Speaking at a media conference, the chairman of the Abosokai Spare Part Dealers, Clement Boateng, said the majority of the spare part dealers are ready to relocate to the new automotive market.
Shops, and then workshops, and then vehicle sales centers, financial institutions, one-bedroom facility, hospital, police station, supermarkets, a railway line to transport our goods from Tema to the site, stadium, schools, restaurants, and then custom-bonded warehouse. 4, that the proposed areas, as was being told by the minister, was Afienya, Dahuenya, Pokuase and beyond. But the minister made us to understand that the available land now, as at that moment, was Afienya. 5, that the message was conveyed to our members in one of our general meetings to solicit their views on the project. There was an overwhelming support from our members. That soon after that meeting, the shop owners started to express their displeasure about the project. We have had several meetings with them and has assured them that nobody is going to be forcibly ejected from here. But they seem not to be satisfied and have decided to kick against the project. 7, that we even met the shop owners just last 2 weeks and were supposed to meet them yesterday for further discussions and deliberations, only for them to hold this press conference just last Tuesday. 8, that we have held about 4 general meetings with our members since this issue came out, and anytime this relocation was put before the House, there has been an overwhelming support. 8, that currently where we ply our trade has outlived its usefulness. The security situation is bad. Sanitation is not the best. Pilfering is at its highest order, and customers can't even get a place to park their cars to patronize our business. The least talk about the washrooms, the better. That current Abosokai has close to 5,000 shops, and as at November last year that we stopped the registration, over 2,500 people had expressed interest in the project and had registered their names. We stopped the registration as a result of an appeal the shop owners brought to us, that because of the registration that we have embarked on, people are not patronizing their shops anymore. So if we had continued the registration, by now you can imagine the number of people who would have registered. Ladies and
away from that, financial institutions are being encouraged to enhance their digital financial platforms to be user-friendly, especially for those in the informal sector. Now, this is because the digital financial solutions have become critical to Ghana's financial inclusion agenda and the growth of the local SME sector. Prince Appiah has been speaking to head digital financial services at Sinapi Savings and Loans Limited and has come through with this report.
SMEs and businesses, especially in the informal sector, have become the focus of financial services solutions in recent times. This has seen a continuous upgrade of digital financial platforms as a result to bridge the gap. Head of Digital Financial Services at Sinapi Savings and Loans, Peprah Champon, says the changing faces in digital financing is critical for the growth of the SME subsector.
This changing phase of digital has been really important to the banking sector. Changes can be disruptive, yes, but for every change that you do make, especially for a digital solution, I think it has to be built with a customer at the core center. So we call something customer centricity. So for instance, here at Sinapi Savings and Loans, we have the majority of our customer base in the informal sector. So for every solution that we do build, we make sure that it serves the interest of the customer. For instance, we know majority of our customer base are either illiterate or semi-literate. So if we are building a digital platform, that platform needs to be something that they can use, make sure that the features are that simple. It's sort of, we say, touch and go, because essentially you want a system that is user-friendly.
Sinapi Savings and Loans have therefore collaborated with the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems to upgrade its services, especially for businesses in the informal sector.
In the past 2 years, we've been able to gather all the customer challenges, the customer complaints, and all their teething problems. And what we've done is that we've solved all these challenges and we've come up with a new platform that would serve them better. We were riding on a longer short code. So customers would have to dial 3 digits, actually 5 digits, in order to reach our banking services. Now we've reduced that one to a shorter code, *754. We had challenges that customers were not finding their way to the banking platform, so we make it shorter, something that they can remember. We've had some great collaborations with some very good institutions like GIPS. Essentially, we've opened up our banking platform such that it can communicate to the entire banking space here in Ghana. Reason why a number of our products are geared at helping the local SME business to be able to grow.
Peprah reporting.
The Minister of Communications and Digitalization, Esla Owusu-Ekufo, said that the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, GIFIC, in partnership with Huawei and MTN, has built 2,016 rural cell sites to improve voice and data connectivity in rural communities. Now, this program, which forms part of the Rural Telephony and Digital Inclusion Project, will also serve as a digital platform to support the knowledge acquisition of girls in ICT. She spoke at the National Girls in ICT Day in Sunyani in the Bono region, where Precious Semenfo reports.
The National Girls in ICT Day in Sunyani, on the theme Access and Safety, saw the training of 1,000 girls and 100 teachers from each district of the Bono region in basic ICT skills and coding, among others. At the climax of the program, the Minister of Communications and Digitalization, Esla Owusu-Ekufo, said the initiative, which started in 2016, forms part of measures to bridge the gender digital divide in ICT and further help achieve the SDG 4 and 5 and expose girls to the opportunities in the sector. And to support the knowledge acquired by the girls, the minister said 2,016 cell sites have so far been built in rural communities to improve voice and data connectivity.
Not all our communities have connectivity to access the digital platforms that will support the knowledge acquisition of our girls. To address the access issue in Ghana, the ministry through GIFIC is implementing the Rural Telephony and Digital Inclusion Project, which is constructing 2,016 rural cell sites for voice and data connectivity nationwide. Since November 2020, 758 cell sites have been built. We intend to finish and connect all the 2,016 sites by the end of next year. The special cell sites that were built were developed specifically by Huawei to meet the demands of our rural environment. We've also introduced national roaming on this rural telephony network so that by activating roaming on your phone, you will pick up the strongest signal available on any network in that area.
To sustain the program, she urged some key stakeholders to develop continuous learning activities to build on the knowledge acquired by the girls.
We want to partner parents, guardians, teachers, faith-based organizations and traditional authorities to guide our young ones on the proper use of online tools as they develop their ICT career paths, to to contribute to national development. I encourage the Regional Coordinating Council to take ownership of the program and develop continuous learning activities that will build on what these girls have been taught. I also urge the Regional Education Office to ensure that coding clubs are established in all their schools to encourage the girls to deepen the skills they have acquired and to transfer them to their peers.
The overall winner of the Girls in ICT competition in the Bono region, 14-year-old Hawau Umoro from the Banda Islamic School, took home 3,000 cedis, a laptop, and the establishment of a computer lab for her school. She envisaged the impact the training would have on her future career.
I have always wanted to be a nurse. I learned from yesterday mentorship that even when I decided to be a nurse, I can still use ICT as an enabler to perform my duties. My friends and I can confidently boast of some knowledge in Scratch programming, fundamental in basic computing and cybersecurity. What a life-changing opportunity.
Precious Semevo, Joy Business, Sunyani.
Now, German-Ghanaian-based construction firm MC Biochemy Limited says it's committed to redefining the state of construction in Ghana. According to the managing director, Noble Bediako, the company will provide a deeper understanding of concrete technology through collaboration with institutions and companies in Ghana to train construction industry players. There is more in this report.
At the grand opening of the office, training center and factory complex at Ashie in the Greater Accra region, the company said it will facilitate capacity development in the construction industry across 5 countries, including Ghana. Part of this project, according to the company, was the support for the building of a training center to improve technical qualification and employability in the field of construction. According to managing director of the company, Noble Bediako, the company's target is to create awareness for Ghanaians with respect to the development of the sector.
Our main target is to revolutionize the concrete industry in Ghana. Revolutionize the concrete in the creation of awareness for people to get to know the dynamics of concrete. Now, as we demonstrated today, the concrete is becoming more exciting. Now we are going into 3D printing concrete. We are going through a lot of revolution. Already in some parts of the world where we are now building without even cement, because of the issue of global warming, how to reduce CO2 and all those things. So the concrete industry is becoming more and more challenging, and then we need to be at pace with the new development in concrete. And that's what we are looking forward to. In actual fact, we want to build the capacity in the sub-region and use us as a reference point when it comes to concrete and concrete know-how.
Minister of Works and Housing Francis Asenso Boachi called on actors in the construction industry to be innovative and come up with pragmatic solutions to help address challenges in the sector.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the creation of these physical assets that many modern economies, both developed and developing, have successfully exploited towards achieving and sustaining the requisite socioeconomic progress. However, exploiting the activities and outcomes of the construction and manufacturing industry towards the anticipated socioeconomic progress does not materialize on a haphazard and weak developmental framework. That is why the government of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is committed to providing the requisite support for this sector to thrive and its full potential of helping to grow our national economy.
The grand opening was to provide MC Biochemy Ghana with the opportunity to share its story with the players within the industry and to showcase what can be produced out of drive, determination and other management of small beginnings.
We have more news on myjoyonline.com. I'm Charles Ayitey. I'll leave you with international business news, after which we have Prime Sport with Oreko Ampofo. Do stay with John.